right, all right, all right, all right.
I was caught off guard. Sorry. It's like, whoa, you're here.
I forgot we're recording. Do we have taglines?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Are you reading them? Am I reading them? We didn't decide.
Well, I'll do it.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Okay. There.
I guess we don't have taglines.
I gotta boot myself up for reading because I forget every now and then. The other day I was going to the bathroom. We go to Disneyland.
Sure.
But one of the bathrooms is princes and princesses.
Okay.
And minor dyslexia
Is that the one with the hearts?
No,
like
it's
in
the one near...
the diamond cards? That's my favorite one.
No, that one's next to Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
But this is at Fantasyland Theater. And I looked at princesses, or it said princess and prince. And I looked at princess and I was like, princess? The picture's a girl, I think. I'm going to try the next one.
You see
didn't understand.
You see the door marked pirate? I see a door marked private, Charlie.
That's basically me, always panicking. And people are always trying to get creative with bathrooms, too. Like, this is a bathroom if you wear heels. This is a bathroom if you wear sneakers. And I was like, I've worn heels. Can I use either?
Yep.
All right, taglines. Besides, done with my bathroom talk. Let's see. This one's from Denmark.
Okay.
Because that's cool. Their days of peace are over.
Kind
of. No. They all carry on.
It seems like their days of... Well, no. Yeah.
Their days of peace are jeopardized.
Their days of peace can be easily restored.
Yeah, exactly. Their days of peace are kind of on the fence right now. They're not sure. Run, the truce is ending. See, okay, I didn't think they had a truce. I thought it was just like, they don't kill us, we don't kill them.
It's kind of a truce.
But they never talked it out.
The handshake has been forgotten.
They shook my hand once. It was terrifying.
It was all bony.
Right? Like, ew, where'd you get those
scaly
tusks?
and feathery?
Where did they get the... Well, we'll talk about the costume later. There's no turning back. From what?
They meant there's no turning your back on the woods.
Well, there is. That's the game they play.
Oh, that's the game, yeah.
There's no turning back.
All of these...
To a normal society, turning back once you go into the woods, turning back to the woods.
See, if I have read any of these on a poster... It wouldn't have made me be like, ooh, what? Yeah. It would have made me like, what the hell are you talking about? What truce?
Yeah.
Does theater have a truce? The truce is over. We have to show this movie.
The truce is over. Take down the Weinstein Company.
The truce.
Okay, here we go. This is the one I read as I earlier, but it turns out it's a 1.
So Roman
it's
numerals?
It's the letter I, but I let
IV.
the bad color not be
that
seen.
Reminds me. For making fun of Roman numerals, here's my own tangent before we start. I used to work at GameStop, right? And this was when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, and legitimately somebody came in and was like, yo, you got that Grand Theft IV? I was like,
we don't want it intravenously?
Thank you. You took the joke. I did, yes. Yeah.
We don't do IV drips here, sorry.
Yeah.
That's up at urgent care. So, 1, let the bad color not be seen. It attracts them. They're bulls, I guess. 2, never enter the woods. That is where they wait. Or live. They just live there.
Yeah,
they don't wait there. They're not like, come on.
We got our own village, and you guys aren't supposed to come in, and we dress in red.
3, heed the warning bell, for they are coming on your chest.
Okay.
Ding! Sploosh.
And?
Oh, that's the tagline.
Oh.
It's just 3 rules. Yeah, I mean...
That's not a tagline. Oh, God. Okay. Jesus. Yeah. All right, just... here we go. With the budget...
Stop.
With a budget of $60 million, an opening weekend of $50 million, so it almost grossed it all back in the opening weekend alone. A total gross of $114 million, with a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb, a 44 out of 100 Metascore, and a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, with one red-cloaked fake creature monster, one useless cameo by Jesse Eisenberg, one broken cane, one Halloween Horror Nights character break room, 6 yellow cloaks, and one twist inside of a twist. It's 2004's The Village. Let's drop some bombs.
Hey, yo, hold it! Hey, yo, you trying to look at my lumps? I'll pull off my G-string and handle mine.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
Who's your daddy? Oh, God, I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. Ah!
It's nice having her on board. She's a breath of fresh ass.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bring it out on March 25th, and we'll call it Christmas 2!
Welcome to Bonds Away, the only show recorded inside of a projection booth. I'm Jonathan Young. Joining me in the studio, as always, is
Jarrett Seifert, and my aura is showing.
Oh, you should really tuck that in.
I should. Ain't nobody got time for that. Put it away.
Put it away.
I can't see your aura.
Just like I wish that somebody would have put this movie away.
Maybe shelved it for later. Did you know that this movie, there's a book that has a really similar premise, like a village that is secluded from society, living in like olden times, and everyone thinks it's olden times, and they're very like, not primitive, but like they're very colonial, I guess. And then a girl gets sent away to fetch, what do you think?
Medicine?
Yep. And the lady tried to sue M. Night Shyamalan, but then M. Night Shyamalan was like, coincidences. Like,
what a twist.
I know. I was like, no, you just didn't have an original story.
So this is entry number 2 in our Netflix November. Hashtag Netflix November.
And it's entry number 2 into our M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong.
I know, right? Now, this one, not as entertainingly crazy as The Happening.
Well, I mean, this movie decided weird transitions go, don't need them. Except when they show a shot of trees. Their only transition in this movie is trees. Other than that, it's like, next scene.
Well,
next
it's
scene.
foreshadowing The Happening.
Right? It really is.
Well,
the trees are dead.
I can't remember. Maybe somebody can write in and be like, yeah, you've definitely said that. But I can't remember if I said that I really hope that by like M. Night's final movie in his career, it's revealed that all his movies are actually connected. Like the twist is that it's just like literally the camera pulls out and it's like you,
it's just a mirror.
You've been watching all these movies. What a twist! And you're like, no, you fucked me.
His thing is they all take place in Pennsylvania or near Pennsylvania. Oh wait, no, that's a state. Yeah. Pittsburgh, in or near Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Pittsburgh is not Pennsylvania.
You probably
Where
live
is
there or something. Pittsburgh is in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was like, they wouldn't name a city with the same first letter as the state.
It's on the west side of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, not an original idea, I feel like. But then, like, the language was extremely blocky. It's like no one, like, he sent all of the actors to, like, colonial boot camp.
What is that?
Like, they got ready to live like they did 200 years ago.
So they sent him to Williamsburg, Virginia.
Right?
Go to Busch Gardens,
Churn
ride some
butter.
roller coasters, and let me know how it goes.
And then Joaquin Phoenix whittled a cane for Bryce
No
Dallas
reason.
Howard and carved ivy into it for her character. I was like, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
This is all in the trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just getting it all out now because there's no other good spot to do it because the movie does nothing.
No.
It is so dull. They just kind of like, all right, next scene.
So, do you want to hold on to, like, do you want to take the listeners through the journey of the movie, just in case? Like, do you want to take?
Like we always do.
Right, I know,
like,
but
do you want to get started? Is what you're saying?
Yes, but the question becomes like, how long can we hold back on revealing the twist throughout this journey of this episode?
I mean,
like,
okay.
do we want to do that challenge?
So this movie came out in 2004, right?
Right, but also, like, I'm curious if we can hold on to the twist without getting absolutely frustrated and just breaking down and being like, nah, fuck it.
Oh, that,
you know, because
I
we
was
do
about
this.
to just
we
do it anyway.
Okay, but I'm seeing if we can do that challenge, because, like, let's say I'm talking to you out there, that one person that's like, I'm going to turn on this episode, and I haven't watched The Village, right? I'm talking to you.
And no one spoiled it for
right?
me.
And somehow nobody talked about it, right? We're going to try to take you through this journey, do what we normally do on an episode, but at the same time, take you through this journey and hit you with the twist when the twist actually happens.
I'll try and remember.
We'll try. Okay.
I'll try.
If it happens, sorry. So, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Does it start off with trees?
I mean, yeah, it is. It's like a nighttime shot of the, like, sky with trees.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
it
it's
goes
not our
through-
normal clouds that M. Night loves, but it is a sky shot.
Yeah.
And then it starts with a funeral. Funeral of a child.
Yeah. Which I completely forgot about.
The time is 1897 because it says that's that's the date of death on his gravestone.
Oh yeah.
And the child has died of some disease.
Yeah.
And everybody's upset about it, and we move on to the next scene. There is a group of elders in this, like, is it colonial? Because, okay, if it's 1897...
It's post-colonial.
Right. Because, like, some of them are wearing bowler hats, I feel like.
Right?
See, I already want to ruin it.
Yeah. Well, okay, so it's very old-timey. They
yes.
basically are, like, living, like, like in houses with windows and no heating, and you poop in a hole in the ground, and you
there's
grow
no
your own
plumbing,
stuff.
but there probably should be plumbing by this time, but there's not.
Yeah. They don't use money at all.
No money.
They have no currency. They just kind of like do everything for goods and services. Which someone in that village is a really good shoemaker.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
And there's no violence.
Yeah.
There's no, like, there is death, but it's due to natural causes or disease.
Eventually.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, established in this, before this, their only instances of violence are from stories of the past.
Yeah. From stories of the town.
Right.
They call it.
Right.
The town. Back in the town, my sister was, raped and murdered and stuffed in a dumpster.
Right.
Yeah.
In an alley.
In
which
an alley, yeah.
I didn't know they had alleys in this, like,
era.
It's a gigantic alley between the houses.
Well, no, that's the story that happened in the town. They're in the village. In the town, because they're like, we don't go to the town anymore because
which makes me go, like, you didn't name the village?
Yeah. Right?
Or the towns that
Call
you
it, like,
speak of,
home,
right? Yeah, like we don't go into Briarsville. We don't go to Pittsburgh.
We go into town.
Right. Well, you don't go to Pittsburgh anyway.
Right. So, yeah, there's the funeral, and then we get the council, and they're kind of like the board of directors for the town. There's no mayor. They all just kind of, like, talk. There's not one person that's more important than the others, but I think there's, 8 or 9 of them?
Yes.
Yeah. And,
well, they're all basically, they're not the founders of the town, but they are the elders of the town.
Yeah.
Right? That's what's established. Mm-hmm. So you have John Hurt, who is a school teacher.
Who did Hurt?
Huh?
He's an ex-school teacher. He used to be a history teacher. Oh,
right.
He is the school teacher, but in the town he was a history teacher.
Right. And then we have Sigourney Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the mother of Joaquin Phoenix, who is the town's blacksmith?
I didn't even know they had jobs. I legit was just like, they all exist.
Yeah.
They're happy together.
Well, I tried to like try to figure out a little bit because like everybody has to have a purpose in even such a little town as a village or something, right? Like everybody has to, but it didn't seem like it was like nobody's really farming. You have people sweeping in dance circles.
And ripping up flowers and burying them.
Right.
Which I was like, that's just how more flowers grow.
Thank you. Because berries are basically seed producing.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing?
There's all these berries everywhere.
Why is red coming back up? Well, it's like that's like the starting point of like red is a bad color, which if you've seen Shyamalan's other work, what is that thing? Sixth Sense. I've done that twice today. Sixth Sense, red means death in that movie.
Yeah.
So in this movie, it's like red symbolizes like evil or bad because it's like what these monsters are. Because then we also get an establishing shot of does
the border?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we get the establishing shot of the border. There's like a hard edge to this town, and it's all woods around them.
And there's yellow flags all across this border. Yeah. And at night, there's like every 10 feet, there's like fully lit torches, and there's watchtowers. And people in the watchtowers are dressed in yellow cloaks. So you get this very obvious dichotomy of yellow versus the red that they don't want around. Like, nothing can be red. And it starts being established that there are those we shall not speak about.
Yeah.
Right? Which, for those we shall not speak about, it seems like they speak about them a lot.
Yeah, it's like, just admit they're there.
Right?
Like, you know they're there. You don't have to be like, if we talk about them, they'll come to get us. Like, that's not one of your weird rules.
Yeah, and it's like, how about just name them?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the same thing as like, you're wasting a lot of time. It's like, when it's like, I'm not gonna call Voldemort by name. And it's like, well.
He who must not be named.
Right? I mean, like, we know who you're talking about. Just say it.
He must not be named, but he has a name.
Right?
Like,
right? Because not calling his name doesn't, like, not give him power. He still has power.
It's not like, oh, you said my name, I know where you are.
Beetlejuice.
There
right?
it is.
Because that's literally, like, what it is. It's just like, oh, if we don't talk about it, it won't come. It's like, that's not how things work.
Yeah.
Like if I don't talk about my ex, it doesn't mean that she isn't keep texting me.
Oh, well, there's that whole line that is coming up that just irritates the poop out of me about doing or not doing. And that just fits in with this.
Yeah.
So then we get this, the council is like sitting in a row, like chatting with people and having messages. And then Joaquin Phoenix comes in, and he's like, my mom has no idea I'm doing this. So, like,
I don't make eye contact with anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not the blind one.
And he reads, like, maybe, like, a 15-second note, but he has, like, 3 sheets of paper with him.
Like, I had a lot more prepared, but I can't.
I got nervous.
Oh, God.
And he's basically asking, like, I want to go in to the woods.
that was all his, like, raps from his...
Scratched out. Like, no, I can't say that.
I'm gonna be a rapper. What a weird. Okay, what a weird like career. I don't know, detour.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, that was the joke I was making. Like, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like Joaquin Phoenix legitimately was like, I'm gonna be a rapper now. Like, went off the deep end and like made this like strange documentary.
Oh,
yeah.
That was
you ever
the weirdest
seen it?
moment. No.
Yeah.
I don't like.
And he went
that.
on like, I think it was Leno or maybe Letterman.
Is that when he had the glasses on and was real crazy?
Giant beard, like he was homeless, like he was living in the village.
I get him and Shia LaBeouf mixed up sometimes because they both had those moments. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think. What is your take on that? Like, it's just like
too many drugs.
Do you think it's drugs, or do you think it's literally like somebody gets in their own head too much and is like, I need to recreate myself because this isn't what I imagined this would be? Like, what happens?
I think it was a combo.
Right? Because, like, all right.
Combo.
The difference between him and Shia is that, like, I feel like Shia
is doing it for good.
Right.
And
Yeah, Shia's doing it to prove points, to prove messages, and then also to be just creatively off the wall, like on purpose, right? And some of it for good measure. Like I love the whole paper bag one.
What was his movie called?
Which one?
The Joaquin Phoenix. Wasn't it like This Is Me or something weird like that? Like
it is.
I Do This Me.
No,
like,
I do this me.
No, it had like a weird clunky title, which is like the dialogue in this movie. Everything was super clunky and blocky.
Yeah.
Where
well, okay, so he Joaquin before this, like he won the Academy
I'm
Award.
Still Here.
Right.
Which was like, we know you never went anywhere.
Right. So basically, because he won the award for Walk the Line, right? For Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, he won the Academy Award for Johnny Cash.
Oh, he's a Scorpio.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm almost positive about that.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
3 Oscars.
No, nominated for 3 Oscars.
Another 31 wins with 108 nominations.
Thank you, IMDb, for always being there for us. He's like the 3rd host. IMDb.
Right.
I guess he was only nominated
for Oscars.
Okay.
Won a Golden Globe for Walk the Line. Yeah.
Right. So like he was extremely established.
Yeah.
And that's what the documentary goes through too. Like literally his journey from being like what we see in this movie, like clean shaven, like normal actor, had just been nominated again. And I feel like after he didn't win, he just went off the deep end or something. Right? So back to the movie.
Right.
He basically is like, I believe that if you would have allowed somebody to journey into one of the other villages or into the town, right, and take the risk of coming in contact with those who will not be named, that's not what they're called, those who we will not speak of, right, we could have saved that little boy's life.
Okay, yeah. Right?
So he is volunteering himself to go into the forest and journey into the town to make sure that this stuff never happens again. Mm-hmm. So then we're introduced to Frank Kranz, who is the pothead from Cabin in the Woods. And yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like with his little remember the bong that's the coffee cup?
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
Cabin in the Woods. Oh, nope, I'm thinking of the other one. I'm thinking of Cabin Fever. I was like, I like to block
that's
Cabin
Boy
Fever's.
Meets World.
Yeah, no, Cabin Fever I have to block out of my head ever since the moment when he's like, I'm fucking her. And he's like, nope, you're doing a wound.
Oh, you mean where he's fingering the wound? Yeah. Right? He's like, so soft, so wet.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so we go back to that guy.
Movie
no,
too,
I hate
though.
that movie. I can't stand it.
But no, this is Cabin in the Woods. It's the pothead that actually survives and screws up, which also has Sigourney Weaver in it by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so it's him and Jesse Eisenberg, and they're playing this game.
Put your back to the woods.
So basically, this game, right? So let's establish what those who will not be named, or those we shall not speak of. They are creatures. They are creatures who live in the forest that basically long ago they used to attack this village, right? And then somewhere the past elders made a truce with the creatures, right? These creatures are just monsters. They live in like the forest. They have red cloaks on.
They love the color red, hate the color yellow.
You're right.
Because when can you actually wear the color yellow? It is unbecoming.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's ugly.
They're like, we'll do red and,
and you guys
yellow.
You get yellow, and they were like, dang it.
Well, the other village took green and the other one took blue. So like, what are you gonna do?
The guy that hates
primaries.
The guy that hates his shirts getting wrinkled is like, oh god, I hate this color. I think he's just gay. I think that was their way of being like, he's gay, but like we don't have any other gay dudes.
This town.
He doesn't want his shirt wrinkled.
This town doesn't allow gays.
Right? No, they just don't talk about it.
Almost spoiled it right there.
They don't talk about the gays, like the creatures.
That's right. So
the game is like,
but they're monsters.
Yeah.
They have like feathers on their back and like giant like skeleton like claw hands, and
they're basically Sonic the Hedgehog. Or Knuckles the Echidna.
They're just a giant porcupine.
They are. But they got feathers sticking out, too. It's like they're monsters, but...
No, they legitimately...
look handmade.
Okay, so I just went to Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
They legitimately look like something out of, like, the ones on, like, stilts.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're on stilts, and we have this leather mask, and I don't know what we are, you know?
It was just, like, the bad, scary parts of all big beasts, like, sewn together.
Yeah, so it's basically...
Initially,
any other time John Murney wants to be lazy at Horror Nights. So.
Well, they wanted it to be like a lion that was on its hind legs.
Oh, really?
Like walking, but then they were like, no, that's not good enough. So they stuck some thorns on it.
Sure. Okay. So
and some bird feathers.
We'll get back to that
because birds would get caught in it. I don't know.
Let's put a pin in that where you're saying lion.
Put a claw on that,
right? Because we'll go back to that too.
Yeah.
So
because they lion. Yeah. So they stand with their back to the woods.
Yeah. The game is that you stand on this tree stump, right, with your back to the woods, and you hold your hands up like you're like being pinned on a cross. And,
it's like a sacrifice thing.
Yeah, and you basically stand there with your back to the woods while your friends watch you and just see how long you can stand there and not be afraid.
And it's in broad daylight.
No, this one was at night.
It was?
Yeah, because it was like the
torches
and everything, right? I thought he was about to get like sacrificed. But so Jesse Eisenberg is standing on this log, right? In one of two scenes that we see him. The scene prior was him at the like edge of this long Thanksgiving table.
I legitimately thought Jesse Eisenberg's first movie was The Social Network. I didn't know about him.
I thought he did Zombieland before that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ignore him because it's so much like it's just another Michael Cera.
Oh, he's just a young Woody Allen.
Oh yeah. Ew.
I can't deal with the things that shall not be named.
So they play this game, they run away, they go back into the village. Then it's the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the next day and you see kids standing around looking at something. You hear like that typical like fly buzzing noise, like
everybody in this movie talks in the stupidest language.
Well, yeah, it's okay. So I cannot watch like, Shakespeare stuff because it's so boring.
It's like to me though, it's like a parody of old timey, like where it's like it's old timey, where old timey would be like, no.
Well, it's like they're all trying to make each sentence sound like extremely meaningful, but not use like any sort of like modern-esque thing. Like they're just like. If it's like, hey, I need a head of lettuce, it's like, Jonathan, my requirements for the meal and feast of the evening time is 1 head of bald leaf water.
And I shall pay no more than a shilling.
Right? Except that's more exciting. Because it's all just like
because I'm doing like monotone, 1920s like gangster. Nah, see, Tracy.
But it's so like monotone and just like okay,
right. Dost thou have the sacrifice for the day? And you're just like, what? Like
go on the log. I'm tired of your chat.
Right. This is how I would imagine that hipsters would like present themselves like in a bar. Like, dost thou
it's like
have this seat taketh?
It's so like
just shut up.
It's so monotone. There's never any like inflection. It's very like
no. The only time there's inflection is when you're crazy Judy Greer.
Yeah. Okay. So this movie has a lot of different actors and actresses.
Then So I saw Judy Greer and I was like, I thought Bryce Dallas Howard was in this movie, not another Dallas. Sorry. Yeah. I thought she was in this, not the other crazy redhead.
Well, see, I saw Judy Greer and I was like, well, that can't be who I'm thinking of. And then I was like, oh, it is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And
why does Judy Greer always play a crazy person?
Mm-hmm. She's got the eyes. I love her to death.
I do too.
She was honestly probably the most rounded character out of this entire movie.
Also the most underused too, though.
Exactly.
Right? So here's what happens here. Like first we skipped one thing is like they all woke up the next day, you were about to get into this.
There's a skinned animal.
And there is a skinned animal, which I couldn't I'm like, is it a dog? Is it a pig? Like, I
thought
don't
it was a
know.
goat.
No, it had like floppy, like dog pointy ears.
Goats
kind of.
can have those.
Do they? I don't know.
I don't know goat anatomy.
I don't know.
I'm not a goatologist.
Right? I'm not a goatsman.
Goatsmith.
It's a goatsmith.
I'm a goatsmith. I forge goats. Well, like, yeah, so it's a dead animal. It's skinned. It's gross, but, like, they didn't touch the head of it. They just, like, skinned the body.
They just skinned
and then,
it.
like, left it in the village. And they're
Right.
like, oh, no, the people from the woods.
Right, but
got
they're
it.
also like, it could have been coyotes, and I'm like,
Yeah. They're like, we don't know.
coyotes in
Yeah.
this area,
Well, that comes later, because first just the school kids find it, and they're talking about it in the classroom.
right? And it's so weird the way he like. Okay, so John Hurt, the school teacher / historian, like finds the kids.
He's like, what you looking at?
Right? And he's like, but who could have done this? Like he's like trying to make a lesson out of it.
Yeah, of, like,
right? But
the
it's-
woods folk.
Right,
Uh-oh.
but he's like also just like it's like leading the witness. He's like, but could it have been those who will not be? And they're like, but we're not supposed to. It's okay to speak about them when we're drawing conclusions.
And then this is also the scene where we establish Adrian Brody.
Oh.
So he is developmentally disabled, I guess we'll call it.
Oh, you're being
He's-
extremely politically correct
I
on that
don't
one.
want to upset anyone. He's got learning issues, right?
He's got his issue is that this is Adrian Brody.
He's no he's no Leonardo DiCaprio in
Yes,
What's Eating Gilbert
Thank
Grape.
you. This is Adrian Brody trying his hardest to do an impression of a special person
Yeah.
and going so over the top that it's like it's like when we were young and stupid.
Adele, thank you. Sorry. Song association. It just overrides everything else. Sorry, just my song moment.
He left you in your heartbreak, waiting for some beautiful boy to.
That's The Killers. That's
Yes.
a different one.
Yeah.
That's
When we were young.
the titles of those two I think have like one word different. I don't know.
Sure.
Or they're
but
exactly
anyway,
the same.
like basically, Adrian Brody is doing what I feel like we insensitively probably might have done an impression of in high school.
Yeah.
Of a developmentally challenged person.
Yeah, it does. Like, I can see where he's trying to go with it. Like, if I do this, then it reads as this, and it's like, maybe not.
More reads off as insane than special.
Or like manic.
I'm gonna say special, and I hope that doesn't offend anybody. That's how I'm gonna put it, because I don't want
Just
to
say different.
I don't want to use 20 syllables to describe somebody.
Just say different. He's different.
Different, right? But that's what it does. It
But he's
comes
not
off as
different.
like,
He's just like
I'm
us."
insane.
Yeah, insane with limited vocabulary.
Yes. It's like I'm insane, and the hospital that has held me for a while beat me a lot, so I don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
That's what it seems
Or
like.
rail.
Yeah.
But he's established there, and then we also get established to... Oh, well, no. First we get established to Judy Greer, and Judy Greer is like, Dad, I'm in love. He's great. He's super boring, not like the other guys who were exciting, and I want to marry him. But
right.
I want to ask you if I can marry him before I ask him if we can get married. And the
Yeah.
dad's like, all right,
Strange.
sure. I know. I was like, whoa, society's up on its head right now.
Right.
So then she goes and she talks to Joaquin Phoenix, and she's like, love is great. I love you. Love me. We're going to get married now.
Love me.
Like, it's literally...
So I
Have
there's a rule that the oldest sister has to get married before the other ones. So I've got like 20 other sisters in line
Yeah.
just bugging me. So you're the one. Because that
it.
is an actual
Yeah.
rule in I don't know about the town, but at least in this family,
Yeah.
is this like
well, then the rest of her sisters, like from below Bryce Dallas Howard, they're all like 10.
yeah,
I'm
but
like, how old are
I
you?
just
22? What happened? Why did she take a break for 12 years? But the wife did die. And then I guess I thought the wife
no.
died. Oh, no, it was his grandpa and his dad?
Right.
Or his grandpa dad?
Yes.
His dad is his grandpa.
His dad His dad died
he
from
was
a man who wanted money. So this is why they don't have any money in the town anymore.
Because
they abolished
sin.
it. Yeah. Because a man killed his father over like a dispute over money.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a wife, and that's why even though it's obvious that him and Sigourney Weaver throughout the movie have feelings for each other,
act on it.
they can't act on it.
Yeah.
Right. Because he does have a wife.
But like, I thought we never even saw the wife.
No, we saw her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because later on,
is she the one that's like,
without
you took the oath? No, you took the oath.
That's another town's member. The wife is just the person that is looking at old photographs later.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it. They open up their black box. Mm-hmm. They all have boxes of things that they're not supposed to talk about. By the way, super minor plot.
Which is like, why? Okay, why? If this is
if you
one
don't
of
want the
two,
twist to get out, why even have a box?
This is one of two secrets. One of two things that can reveal everything about what this town and its history and everything. And it's like, you're gonna put it like as the centerpiece in your living room and be like, that's the that's the box that
must not be touched.
Don't ever get curious about that, kids. Like, the kids are gonna get curious about the box in the middle of the room, because it's in every house it's blatantly there, being like, I'm the black box.
But it's like that old thing. Don't think of a pink elephant. What are you thinking of?
A peacock.
Oh, okay, come on. But for a second, you were thinking about a pink elephant because I brought it up.
No, you're right. I genuinely was like, I got to think of another animal just to be funny.
Because, that's that whole thing. It's like, if you tell someone no, if you tell them to don't do it, then they're going to be like, why not?
Well, this is why I'm surprised that, like, the kids... Like you're saying, Bryce Dallas Howard is like 22 or something. Yeah. Like, how did she not one day be like, I'm going to break into this box? Oh, wait, because she can't see it. Yeah. Okay. Bryce Dallas Howard is introduced as the younger sister.
So Judy Greer does crazy girlfriend thing. Have you ever had this happen to you where someone's just like, we're in love, I don't know why you don't understand? And
no,
it's like,
that's usually me.
Dude, it was one day. Yeah, I was like, actually, I've heard your stories, yeah. It happened to me once, like, I went on one date with the dude I was broken up with a month before, and I was like, okay, sorry, like, I still got stuff to work out, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to, like, lead you on, I won't be full on into it, because I'll just be thinking of my own stuff.
I'll be into you tonight.
Ew,
but I won't be into
gross.
it.
So then,
you're like, but accurate.
The guy was like, I've been there. I want to help you. I want to be the port in your storm. And I was like, it's my battle, but also like, get lost. Why are you trying to be like a savior for me? Like,
I want to be the plug in your drain.
I want to be the plug in your butt. Is what you're gonna say. I was like, that's good. You failed me on that one.
Well, no,
you failed me. You didn't say the plug in your butt
because I didn't want to go. That was the joke.
Oh,
and you were like, I need to be more literal.
No, you need to say butt because it's a butt plug.
Yeah.
It's an actual device. Okay, so Judy Greer is crying.
This episode is insane.
Yeah. I had coffee, sorry.
I did too.
So yeah, Judy Greer, like, she says all this stuff. She's basically like, we're in love because I said I love you and we need to get married and I hope you agree. And then it just flashes over to her crying in bed.
Well, no, first it cuts to him completely silent.
Yeah.
Like, what
Me
the
too.
fuck?
Those are my emotions too. Silence.
He's just complete silent, and then it flashes to her just bawling her eyes out in bed. Yeah. And this is where I legitimately laughed out loud. I was like,
I think it was supposed to be a little bit of a funny moment because it's like she literally, this whole speech is just like every other word is love and together.
Oh,
and
she built herself up big.
Yeah. She was like, there's no way he's saying no. I'm going to have the hottest dude in town.
Sure.
The
only dude in town. Like, I don't feel like there's another one of that age.
I don't feel like there are any other town members. Like, there's 5 background characters, and they just, like, try to make them seem as many people as possible. So it's just them running around the cameraman in the scene. They're like, whoa, like putting on a different hat.
So the only thing that's established of how big this town possibly is like 2 or 3 Thanksgiving dinners, basically.
They walk off screen with the chicken and walk back on screen, like holding a girl's hand, and then they both walk off screen.
Big cowboy hat.
They
on,
walk back, yes,
and then they have a different hat on, right? And a mustache.
It's so stupid. But yeah, this whole town is basically Thanksgiving every day.
Yes.
Which
and
I
they
would
actually are
love,
like,
yeah.
oh, we're thankful for, which, like, that makes sense. I mean, next week's Thanksgiving for us. So, like, this was appropriate. Like, it was unintentionally appropriate, right? Because they basically, they give thanks at every meal. Be like, what is it that we're thankful for? What's he say? We're thankful for, not the blessings. There's just, we're thankful for existing.
Was this
basically.
the wedding one?
Well, there was a wedding one, but he says the second scene in, right after the funeral, was another, like, we're thankful for the things that we've been given or something. Just,
Yeah,
or
it was like, we're thankful to be thankful.
Yeah, we're thankful. I think it was that. We're thankful to be redundant.
Yeah. Basically.
So
And they are.
We're thankful to give thanks, right? So then.
Oh yeah. So Ivy, Bryce Dallas Howard, is like comforting her sister and crying and petting her and singing her a song.
Sure.
And then the mom and dad are looking at him. Oh, that is the scene with the mom. Okay, yeah, mom's there.
Yep.
And so then they're like, it's a shame. But then, like, okay, so I thought this whole movie took place over, like, weeks, maybe months. Turns out, I think it's just several days.
Oh, mind you, I have to put this out there. You'd seen this before, right?
Yar.
Okay, Yarp. I've never seen this movie until today, but always knew what the twist was because I think my mom and my sister went and saw it or something.
Did you think though that like several like weeks were passing between scenes?
No,
because it was like she got rejected. Next day she's like, okay, but hold on, I got a backup guy. Goes and they're getting married. Like that was on Thursday. Saturday they're getting married.
But
so I was like, oh, cool.
But
no
I didn't.
Time to plan
but
that
that's
wedding.
the thing is, like, I didn't think
You
several
think they have
weeks
a
had gone
community
by.
wedding
I
just-
literally thought that she did what, like, actually some girl in my past actually did. Like, legitimately, like, I was like, it's not gonna happen. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then immediately, because like she would, she was introduced into our group of friends. This sucks for this person, but I know they don't listen. But she was introduced to our group of friends through dating me, and then like started latching onto another friend of ours, like in the circle, like immediately, like, and then they got married within like 6 months to a year of being in the same thing. And I'm just like, I mean, that's not as fast as this of like the next day, but it is in that same, we're just like, oh yeah, because you're crazy. That's right. Like you literally are just like, I got rejected, so I'm gonna marry you. You're it. Goodbye. Right.
That happened in my friend group. This guy started dating this girl, but then like we started hanging out because he was too slow on his bike, and we got to his house first. So then we started chatting, and we were like, oh, we like each other.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Flash a few. This was in 8th grade.
Wait. No. We started dating because he was faster on his bike?
No, we were faster on our bike. So we got to like just chill and hang out while we waited for everyone else to get there. And so we started talking and we were like, oh, we like each other more than like you and he like each other.
So you guys just pedaled faster?
Well, yeah. If he would have pedaled faster, like they would have chatted and I would have chatted with her.
Well, how
That's
slow
just
versus how fast were you guys that you made a full-on connection before they even got there?
I don't know, but I remember sitting on his front lawn and being like, they're not here, and then us chatting, and I was like, oh, I like her. Well, in my mind, I liked her. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess that's where everyone likes someone.
Somewhere she's like, I still like you. We were so fast on our bikes.
Well, cut to like several months later, she asked me to have a baby with her. This is all 8th grade. Didn't have a baby because my dog died, so we never talked
that's
about
why
it.
you didn't have a baby.
No, it's a whole convoluted story. I'll tell you later. And then...
Well, I was planning to have a child, but then my dog died.
It took everything away, but basically at that time I was 14, so right now I would pretty much have like a 13-year-old child if I went through with that.
Shit.
But she's a lesbian, and I think she's getting married. I'm a gay, so
yeah,
it was weird.
Right.
But so that was 8th grade. Anyway, so
thank God for dogs.
Yeah. She moves on. She moves on.
Moral of the story: have a dog.
Yeah.
It'll keep you from having a child. That's
honestly,
accurate.
I was like, that dog held on until I needed it to die. He was our first dog too. I loved him to death. It's not like I'm making fun of him. Oh, Max.
Max is so mad.
No, his birthday was February 14th, and he died on February 21st. He was only 7 days old. I'm kidding. I'm terrible. He was like 13 years old. Anyway, so back to this movie. Sorry, Tangent USA. Yeah, so
Tangent USA is like, we love it.
Judy Greer finds a new husband. Great for her. But then Bryce Dallas Howard starts hanging out with Joaquin Phoenix, and Joaquin is sitting on her front porch, and she's like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you protecting us? And he's like, I don't know. This is a pretty cool house. But then she's like, I know you like me. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you've liked me forever. And then she says this weird convoluted line that I was like, that's stupid. And she says, sometimes we don't do things we want to do, so others don't know we want to do them.
It takes too long to hear that and try to figure. I'm trying to figure it out right now.
It's basically
say
like,
it again just for people.
Sometimes we don't do things we want to do, so others don't know we want to do them. It's like sometimes you don't do stuff because you don't want people to figure it out.
Right.
It's basically like
it could have said sometimes you don't tell people you like them because you're afraid to tell people you like them.
Yeah. But in her mind, she's like, you didn't hold my hand when I fell in a puddle because you didn't want people to know you liked me. And I was like, you're reading too much into that, and you can't even read because you're blind. Right? That was so mean. I'm sorry. That just fell out of my mouth. Whoops, okay.
Won't make fun of the obviously stereotypical over-the-top special person. Completely shits on the blind.
Okay, she's like, so she lost her sight when she was young.
I can't, she's like...
But she can see auras.
She picks and chooses how blind she is in this movie.
Yeah. Okay, so what I gather from it is she lost her sight. She went completely blind. The dad was sitting in a rocking chair.
I don't think she's completely blind, by the way. I think...
Like she just sees in fuzz?
I think so.
Okay, because she can see people's auras. She's like, stop asking me what color your aura is. I'm not going to tell you.
Right.
Like, why does that matter?
Which is why I think she sees in, like, fuzz.
Yeah.
Because
when she's like, everyone's aura is yellow or beige. Well, it's like, that's because that's the clothing colors.
It's the cloak. Right? Yeah, because there'll be moments where she's making direct eye contact with people.
Oh, she doesn't play blind well.
No, not at all. The only time she does is...
They should have given her sunglasses.
Or later on when she needs to, like...
She's got Ray-Bans on the entire movie. Like...
She take my money!
We should not drink coffee before the show.
Yeah, because the only time and I know this because in high school, I did a play where I played a blind guy. Right? It's called Butterflies Are Free.
Is that how you figured out your fashion choices?
That's accurate. Yeah, no, it's a play called Butterflies Are Free. I did it in my senior year, and we legitimately went to the Maryland School for the Blind for a day.
Research.
To study and
to watch blind people, basically.
Yeah, right.
Look at how they do that.
Which was an amazing experience, by the way. But so I know the only time when it was actually extremely accurate is there's a time when she's running hastily to get to something that happens later in the movie and is counting the steps from her house to his house. Like, you can hear her being like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And I was like, good, because that's what they do. They count steps to the things that they know, memorize, like, where they are, right? So I was like, finally, something. Everything else is just like... It took me 3 scenes to even figure out that she was blind. Yeah. Instead of, I was like, because first I thought Adrian Brody was like her brother. So I was like, no. She's on the spectrum too. No.
So Bryce Dallas Howard is like the caretaker, I guess, for Adrian Brody's character.
Sure.
Like, she plays with him, she makes sure that he's safe and stuff. So they're playing by the rock, then Joaquin Phoenix is also there. Right. Not Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it's a giant rock that they set out. And then Adrian Brody comes back and has, like, red berries, but he puts them in her hand, and she's like, these are lovely.
This is where I figured out that she's blind.
Joaquin Phoenix is like, oh, no, those are red. You need to bury those.
That's the red color.
Yeah. So then they find out that Adrian Brody's been into the woods, right?
Right.
And that's, like, a no-go. And they're thinking that whenever people go into the woods, it upsets the woods people, and... they start lashing out. So then we get this nighttime attack, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's someone's up in the tower. they like hear a bang at the bottom of the tower, and they open the door and look, and one of the sorry, I just was listening to myself talk.
Okay.
I literally was like, I can hear my own voice. How cool is that? And then forgot that I was forming a sentence. So yeah, someone's up in the tower. They open up like the hatch of the tower, and one of the monsters runs by underneath. And I remember as a kid, it was like, scary. But then at that point, I was like, Sonic, like, whoa, where's Tails? Like, and so he like closes the gate, locks it, and then
oh my God, eyes wide shut.
Yeah, he's like afraid of it for a second. And then realizes he's supposed to ring a bell, which I was like, you got to get better watchtower people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your job is to like see monster ring bell, he took too long. That was luckily no one died. So then he rings this bell, and everyone's still outside like doing their chores. For some reason, pitch black at night, and then they all start running.
Well, because they don't have real jobs.
Yeah. So they all start running into their houses, and they're going underneath their. They all have secret hutches in their floors. Like, basements.
Yeah.
So they run to their floors. Bryce Dallas Howard is sticking her hand out and is like, "Oh, he's gonna get here."
She's like feeling for rain.
Yeah, it does look like that. She's like, "Is it raining out? I don't know. What's the wind doing?"
Yeah, and then at the last minute, before one of the monsters comes up on the porch. Yeah,
it's
comes up on the
stupid.
porch to get her. Joaquin Phoenix comes out of nowhere, grabs her hand, and they all go under the floorboards, right? And then they shut the front door behind them, so like the monster bangs on the door once or twice and then leaves.
This is all happening the night of the wedding, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, we
So this is
skipped
happening.
the wedding.
Yeah.
So her older sister,
Judy Greer.
Yes.
She's getting married because she found another love the next day.
Right, the Cabin in the Woods guy.
Yeah. So she's marrying him, and she's like, he's quirky. He doesn't like getting wrinkles in his shirt. I'm like, the code for gay.
Yeah.
Still.
He also is the one in the bowler hat.
Yeah. Wait, no, is this the night of the wedding? No, because they're babysitting. Oh.
No, yeah.
They're babysitting. Yeah. That's the babysitting night. The wedding night
is another night.
Yeah, but something happens then too, right?
Probably. This is a movie where I didn't really write down the plot. I was like, I'll remember it. But holy hell, this is another movie just like The Haunting, which like basically the same thing happens on a daily basis, and we're getting it mixed up.
Well, okay, so they also don't do transitions. There's like no sound to be like, you're in the next scene or it's the next day. They don't do like, here's a sunset so you know it's going into nighttime. Like it's just kind of, it all feels like they just super cut everything together. They're like scene. And it just was like that.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So there's the wedding. What happened at the wedding night? I don't know. Okay. So the night that they're babysitting, what happens? Bryce Dallas Howard, she grabs Joaquin Phoenix. They go hide in their hole in the ground.
Right. So after that, that's when, after that's revealed, the next day, there's like a red slash on everybody's door, right? Which basically is like the Scarlet Letter.
Yeah.
There's whores in this house.
Well, it's everyone's doors. So
right. Everybody's a whore. Yeah. We, the red tree people, say you're all whores.
Tree people. Yeah. So then,
give us our golden rings.
Yeah, they.
And then more animals are skinned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what they wake up to, or at least when they go outside in the morning. And then also at this point, we have another nighttime scene where. And that's where the whole thing that you said, where she's like, "I know you like me," and they have a kiss. The next morning, after that kiss and that whole like, sometimes you do things, you know, so people don't whatever. That's when like the whole town knows they kissed.
Oh yeah, and like he's telling Sigourney Weaver,
it is like a 3 hometown, but still.
He's telling Sigourney Weaver like he tries to do the same. Like sometimes you do things you don't want to do.
Yeah, and he gets it all jumbled,
yeah.
and he doesn't make eye contact. He's looking down. He's like, sometimes you do stuff. Like he doesn't get the line right?
Yeah, and Sigourney Weaver's like, God damn it, son.
God.
And then, it's established that they are going to be together. They're in love.
Right. And also,
love
in this
works
time,
so fast here.
It's established that basically, the elders are like, why the hell are the tree people coming out of the woods?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? And Joaquin Phoenix writes a letter to the council that gets read out loud to everybody because it's a full town meeting, basically being like, I'm sorry, which we didn't mention, there's a scene where he crosses the barrier line.
He takes 15 paces into the woods.
And basically just, he's being brave and testing out the theory. Like, if, so like, he believes that him doing those 15 paces in the wood brought the tree monsters into the village. Like, they were like, oh, fuck this.
Get out of our territory.
Right?
You're wearing yellow.
Right. You're smack dab in the middle of all of our territory.
Yeah.
So now there's no actual consequences for him doing that. It
they're
seems.
like, oh, dang it.
Right? They're like, it's okay, son.
Well, I feel like this entire movie is karma.
Yeah.
But it's karma. It's like a domino effect of karma.
Sure.
We'll get there at the end because it reveals things. But so Joaquin Phoenix is like, man, and then he's back home blacksmithing, right?
You were just standing there.
Yeah, just standing there. And Adrian Brody walks in.
Right, because like I said, the entire town now knows of Joaquin Phoenix and Ivy's intentions for each other.
So then Joaquin turns around and he's like, hey, hope you're not mad, little buddy.
Little buddy.
Getting married to your caretaker. And then all of a sudden...
It's like the most he's spoken like to anybody in the movie. Like... like, sorry, gonna be banging your little crush lady there, right?
And so then, like,
the only person that didn't know exactly that you're special because she's blind.
She thought you were just funny and 10 years old,
and creepily hiding in coat closets.
Yeah, that was a creepy scene. She was like, "We're playing hide and seek," and she opens up and gets a coat, and he's like,
right?
I was like, "Oh,
and
that would
like,
be
where's
great."
Noah?
That was probably the
and
scariest
just
part of
shuts
the
the
movie.
door
Yeah.
on him. He's like, "Man, it didn't even play out properly." So
yeah,
he turns around. And the camera turns first-person perspective, like, very obviously. Like, it's just, like, it just zooms, like, as close as it can, like, uncomfortably close into Joaquin's back. And then he turns around, and it's, like, right in his face.
Yeah.
And then he just looks down, and he's been stabbed by Noah, right?
And he, like, pulls the knife out, and then he falls to the ground, and he kind of, like, hits a table and rolls on the floor. And then Noah leans next to him, and you think he's going to be like, "Oh God, what have I done?" And he just stabs him again, and again.
And then he puts the knife down on the table, and then like kind of paces for a second, and then he's like, "No, better take the knife."
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah. Everyone.
Somebody's like, "There's been an accident," because they discover Noah with blood all over his hands, and then Noah's back to like being. It's weird because it's like. He, in this moment, is still, kind of challenged.
Yeah.
But seems to have way more awareness of his surroundings and everything in this moment. And then goes back to, like, I'm rocking in a chair. I'm special.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
that could be the mentality of it.
I guess.
I don't know how someone would act under those influences.
Yeah, you're right. I'm like, let's test out the theory. But
they run around town.
Right. So everybody's in uproar, and I guess Ivy just kind of is like, I don't know, is like, it's got to be him.
She's panicking because she's like, maybe she's thinking the same thing too. And she runs to the house, and she like walks in, and her foot kind of like hits the ground.
Okay.
And she leans down and like feels that it's Joaquin Phoenix, and she like holds his head and stuff, and so the stab wounds are on like his stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then there's like a whole town announcement. They're like, he's not doing well.
One just straight in the chest though.
In the chest?
Yeah, that was that final blow before it cuts over. He just straight up and that was gruesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, so they didn't. So the movie would have gotten an R rating if they would have made like knife sounds, like the whole like.
Yeah, because the first one is no sound.
Yeah. But they removed those knife sounds to get a PG-13, and it made it more creepy.
Yeah, because it's like a soft, like,
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, ugh.
Ugh. It's
Okay.
just the sound of like the fake knife retracting, like like that spring, like right. And then but then it shows Ivy, Bryce Dallas Howard, standing outside, and she's got like blood on her shirt. And I was like, well, I don't remember her touching him that much.
Right.
It's like, okay, maybe in another scene. But her dad comes in and picks her up, doesn't he?
So
Yeah.
let's all acknowledge right here, right now, that there are a bunch of people, right, that have seen and can confirm that Noah had, they said, a quart of blood on his hands. They said the word quart.
One full quart. We washed it off with water, then diluted and separated and figured it out.
So put a pin in it as well, right?
Oh, is there more? The body doesn't have that much.
No. It has nothing to do with like
okay.
this. It has nothing to do with
are you
science.
measuring blood
no,
and bodies?
it has nothing to do with science. It has everything to do with like there are actual eyewitnesses to Noah having blood all over him.
Yeah.
Which coincides with somebody who is just is a victim of stab wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the ending of this movie.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't connect, but yeah,
Okay.
we'll figure it
But
out
you
later.
will. Okay. So put a pin in that one.
Sure.
So
Pin two.
pin 2. I don't remember what pin 1 was. So.
The costumes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Never mind. They're
Yeah.
period pieces.
Yeah.
Great.
yes. Period pieces. So, so then he's going to die of his wounds if they do not get help.
They like seal the wounds, but there's an infection.
Right. So now the one person who was brave enough to go into the forest, like, can't go into the forest because he's the one that's stabbed. So
John Hurt's like, I gotta go. I can save him.
Right.
And then he has this talk with another village elder, and the village elder is like,
you
made an oath to not go in the woods. And he's like, but I have to. And she's like, no, you made the oath.
Right.
Not your daughter, is
Which
like what she's trying to get across.
Also, like, okay, so here comes twist number 1.
What?
Okay?
Oh.
Right?
Oh, are we talking about the shed?
The shed.
Okay.
The Hollywood Horror Night break room.
Yeah.
Costume break room.
Right.
So he's like, I'm gonna show you the shed.
But don't scream.
The shed that nobody's supposed to go into. Once again, another, like, just like the
Why
black
do you have
boxes.
this?
Hey, the shed no one's supposed to go into?
Yeah.
Right? Which is weird because then later on it's revealed that, like, they're all, like, these. Okay, here it is. Here's twist number 1.
The village elders are
The creatures, the creatures in the woods don't exist. Okay?
Yeah. But her dad does say, long ago in the history textbooks, a creature like this was thought to exist. There were rumors of it. So it's like, it could have been real
So he
at one
basically,
point.
like, took a myth and created
And he
them.
developed it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
But-
like, I'm not technically lying. I mean, they did exist.
Well, that comes
but-"
into play later. Cause,
Right.
So he has her feel the outfit, and she's like,
Okay.
oh, no.
All right, so they go into the room, right? And he's like, reach out and try not to scream,
And
right?
touch Faith.
Well, that's immediately just like Pink Elephant. Try not to scream.
Yeah.
Like, okay, right?
Well, I'm gonna
so
scream,
she
probably.
touches it and immediately is like, it's the things that will not be named. It's like,
How
did
do
you
you know?
figure that out from like some just bone hand?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, she lost her sight, so she might have been like, oh, I know that they have creepy bone claw fingers. I
Maybe,
don't
but
know.
also like that could have been anything. Could have been literally anything.
A baby elephant tusk.
It could have just been normal bones in
Yeah.
there. That literally could have been the bones
our
of other
bone shed.
victims, right? Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. The twist is that I am a murderer and I'm your father.
Yeah.
You know, like, but she's immediately just jumps to the conclusion, right? And then it flashes over, and there's like 3, like, hanging on the wall costumes of the creatures that we saw earlier. Right, and so it's revealed that they are not real, and that the elders have been dressing up as them.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
but
means
the
someone in the
intentions-
village is willingly skinning animals.
Right.
Which Bryce even is like, so someone's doing this, and he's like, yeah, that's one of us, and I'm going to put a...
Yeah,
like,
I don't
I'm going to
exactly
stop
like,
that. I
nobody-
don't know who's doing it.
Right. Which, okay, so conversation number one. Like, I imagine, well, how did that go? So this has been happening for like 2 or 3 nights, right? Yeah. So at what point, that, as like, the elders, are they like, all right, so which one of y'all did it?
Like, who's killing these things?
So, right? Like, we all know they're not real because it's us, right? It's us. And so, come on, guys, who did it? Like, the first night, hilarious. Spooky. Like, loved it. Loved the skinning thing. Loving what you're doing with the skinning. Whoever's doing it, loving it. Like, could you try not to do the goat, though? Like, kind of need the goat for food.
That's what we eat.
Could you try something else? Like there's got to be something else in the woods.
Get a deer.
How about a rabbit? Right. I don't know. And then, like, all right, guys, loving what you're doing with the, like, red paint, but I'm not understanding, like the slash. Is that like for the internet?
There's one person in the group that's like, I didn't do it, but I think if I did do it, it could possibly be me doing it, which I didn't, but just doing it because I want to make sure that Joaquin knows to not go in the woods, which would be a pretty good lesson for that person that's doing this to do, to frighten him and make him think he did this, but I didn't do it, so I don't know. Yeah. And they're like, okay, you didn't do it.
Right.
They're all naive.
Right.
We have hope, though.
Guys, I said that if we were going to bring back the monsters, we were going to plan this out. Like, come on, because this is how shit just it snowballs. And now we got a guy that's stabbed, and I don't know who did that either, even though there's a quart of blood all over Noah's hands.
Also, I'm pretty sure we left the town to get away from murder, and these are murder signs.
Could you imagine it being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? We created these monsters so there were no murder, and there's goddamn murder on our doorstep. There's literally murder on our doorstep. God, I hate guns.
So
I'm about to spoil the whole thing just with this improv.
So Bryce Dallas Howard then is like, yeah, I'll go into town to get some drugs to keep him safe. And the dad sends her in there and 2, like, watchtower dudes.
So he's still because, okay, like, there's another twist before this movie's over. That wasn't the full twist. That wasn't the full revelation of what's going on, right? But without spoiling the twist, the second twist yet, he is still, like, half giving her, like, a ruse.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, so, but I imagine that, like, that was so that the 2 escorts would go along with it. He's like, if you take these magic rocks.
Yeah. Well, see, I think she...
You think she made up the magic rocks?
She had something to do with it, because the second the 2 guys are gone, she's like, don't need the rocks
Well, that's
anymore.
what I think the father was like, here, take this, say it's some magic rocks. Right. Like, don't believe anything. They're like, have you not seen? Now that you know. Yeah. Isn't it ridiculous? It's fucking ridiculous.
Even, like, one of the guys,
the magic rocks, and what do they else call it? The it's so ridiculous, because there's 3 different things where I imagine, what if nope, pin number 3. God. What if somebody stumbled upon this village? Pin number 3. I'm going to ask that question later. What if somebody...
I know the answer to that.
Yeah, I know, but, like, how would that play out? Because, like, these are the things, okay, they're talking about, like, magic rocks, right? The cloak of safe color.
Yeah. Which she panics for a bit. Okay, so she goes into the wood.
Then what about the ceremony of meat?
Right? Throw a dead animal that we ate most of.
I'll show you the ceremony of meat.
Ew. On our wedding night. So yeah, she goes into the wood with 2 dudes.
Right.
But meanwhile, John Hurt, he's like, hey, my daughter's going in there to get stuff. And they're like, and he gives this speech about hope.
Hope and the innocence of the town. And this is the part where unless you're basically the character that Andrew Brody's playing, you probably are figuring this out fully at this point. Right?
And then, Yeah, so she's in the woods. The first guy takes off because he's like, I'm too scared after like 30 feet in the woods.
Yeah.
He runs back. Meanwhile, Bryce Dallas Howard and another guy, it starts raining. They build a tent. They're sitting in there and they're like, oh, crap. And then the other guy, after it stops raining and like the bushes are frozen over, he's like, hey, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, it just turned
winter like out of nowhere. Like nobody was breathing like cold air or anything all through the movie. And then it's just like, hey, it's winter.
Cold.
But also only winter in this one shot. Like there's nothing else frozen over, like anything.
But then it all melts.
Immediately.
Which actually in production of this film, they thought they were going to have to halt production because it snowed a bunch. And then it...
should have used it. The white. So then color would have been like way cooler in this moment of seeing like the red cloak people and the yellow cloak people over a white landscape with like the red berries and stuff that now are about to come up. Oh, why didn't you use that?
Right.
Just like visually do something more interesting with this movie.
So, so then it rained after that the next morning, and it basically melted all of the snow, and that's whenever they dig up the giant pit in the ground. So Bryce Dallas Howard...
They dug the pit?
No, like the production crew did.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Oh, okay.
All along.
Yeah, because that's another... once you know the reveal...
Yeah.
It brings more questions than it does answers, and one of them is like, where did this pit come from?
Well, it's supposed to be like a tree fell over and the ground like was eroded underneath it.
Oh, okay.
So then,
don't like it.
So Bryce is alone in the woods. Her cane breaks. Then she almost falls into a pit. She pulls herself out. She's fine, but then she starts hearing like a branch breaking, and there's a monster of the woods there chasing her.
Right.
So she runs. She's like, oh, thank God I'm away. And then she's in like a field of berries.
So
whoops.
When your movie reveals that these things aren't real, 10 minutes prior, that kind of makes this not scary at all to me.
Yeah, but see...
Except for the fact where it's like, we don't know which one's fucking with us.
Yeah,
you know?
So I think...
So then it becomes more of a murder mystery, but it would be cooler if some other people in the village actually died, like the things were killing people, because then you're like, which one of these elders is like a murderer?
Yeah.
Right? That would have been great.
So, okay, I think in Bryce's mind in this moment, she's either thinking, well, my dad said that this is all based off of a myth, so maybe this is a real one. Or she's thinking one of the elders that has been doing this, because she was even like, well, who's skinning the animals? And he's like, I don't know, I have to deal with it. So she could also be thinking, someone out here legitimately doesn't want me out here, and it's one of the village people trying to kill me, but cover it up as one of the monsters. Right?
Right.
Meanwhile, we flash back to Adrian Brody. He's locked in the silent room, but the parents of Adrian Brody come in, and they're like...
Silent room.
That's what they called it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, don't mock me.
No, I know. No, it's like that's why I'm laughing, because it's like the silent room.
So then the parents come in, and they find that Adrian Brody is not there, but they had a secret cloak hidden underneath their floor. So I was like, I think the parents are doing the killings because they want to shame... the parents of Adrian Brody are doing the killings of the animals because they want to shame Joaquin Phoenix for doing that. But those actions lead to this next karma, because also Adrian Brody's
So this
character,
is actually happening at the same time, mind you guys, because like here is so there's I guess like kind of almost 3 twists in a way, because it's now revealed that like at least the thing that's chasing her right here right now, she somehow knows exactly where the pit is. Right?
Yeah.
And
counting her paces.
Yeah, but there's no way she counted her paces when she's just running around the forest blindly.
So after she pulls herself out of the ground, she feels the tree stump of the fallen tree that's next to it, and then she has the chase scene, and she finds that she's back to that tree stump.
Okay.
So then she's like, "Oh, if I stand here, okay." So Adrian Brody has a costume. He's chasing her in the woods. Is like the whole connection.
But you don't know that it's Adrian Brody until like literally she's running. She runs towards the pit. She stops at the pit at the last moment, and then the creature is chasing her from behind. She sidesteps. Creature falls in the pit, and then they flash over to the parents like checking in on Adrian Brody, and he's not there, and they're like, oh my God, he's taken the cloak from the floor. Then we flash over to inside the pit, and there's Adrian Brody laying there like unclothed from the like costume now.
Well, it's like the hood came off.
Right.
He's in the ground.
Just so you can see his face, and he's like taking his last gasps of breath, and he dies inside the pit.
Yeah.
Right? So...
Okay, hold on. With these costumes, whenever they're leaving the shed or when Adrian Brody's running out of the hole in the house with this costume on, is no one ever looking at the shed they shouldn't go in? And was no one paying attention to that house when Adrian Brody's running out of it with his cloak on?
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't...
Like no one's paying attention.
Well... It goes back to the thing. It's like, why are you hiding your deepest, darkest secrets in plain sight?
Yeah, in
like,
a floorboard that someone can pick up.
It's literally like you made a shed and then painted on it "Secret of the Village."
Yeah,
like all will be explained if you open the shed. Do not open shed.
Yeah. It was a bit of a dumb move on their part, right?
It's like the zombie door from Walking Dead. Don't open.
Don't dead
don't
open.
Inside.
Don't dead open
don't
inside.
Don't twist open inside.
Yeah. I just popped my sternum.
Twist inside.
Yeah, so then... This is when the movie kind of just like rolls down and it's like everything starts happening.
Right. So she makes it to the dirt road and follows the dirt road.
It's just a gravel road. She's got a stick and she's like tapping the ground and kind of walking, but then she starts running. And this is a point where I was like, oh, she's like not playing blind well because there are two like major branches across this road.
I was like,
and
please trip.
She clearly steps over them. Like there's one. Oh, there's another. Like. And she's not even using the stick to like tap the ground. She's
no, it's just
once every
waving it
80
in the
paces.
air.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're blind, you would not run like that.
So she hits a hedge wall, right? Which, like, the camera perspective is from like way up top, like where the hedge wall top of it is.
And you can tell they had budget for one like 10-foot by 15-foot wall.
But like you already know that like. You're like something's wonky here too because like the hedge wall like is swaying back and forth where I'm like that hedge is on a chain link fence. Right? It's like you could have waited 2 more minutes or maybe secured this hedge wall a little bit better because like right there I was like, well, here comes that was something, right? You know, like and then it flips over to her parents opening up their box.
Yeah, and looking at photos, and you're like, what? That's a group of...
They have photos, right? And then the photos are what seem to be either 1960 or 1970 time period, right?
Meanwhile, there's voiceovers of different people being like, this tragic thing happened to my brother, my
So basically, here's
lover,
the twist.
my granddad. They've all been murdered.
Here it is. Jesus Christ. Here it is. Every single one of the elders have had a tragic gun incident.
Yeah. Well, I don't think guns...
No, every single one of them
it was all guns?
said gun.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay? Which is weird, too, and a little bit preachy, right? It's a very leftist movement where they were like, okay, each one of us... so Sigourney Weaver, Joaquin Phoenix's father, was gunned down for something. Right, which she lied to Joaquin
He left
Phoenix.
for the grocery store at 9:35 or 9:15 a.m.
Right.
3 days later, he was found in the river with no clothes and gunshot wounds.
Right.
And I was like, why'd they take his clothes?
The same story he told his daughter about his father about being, basically robbed for money is true, but the weapon used was a gun.
Yeah. And he did say like his dad was shot in the head while he slept.
Right, but he didn't. I don't think he said shot in the head before that because they don't have guns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they still had guns in the late 1800s.
Yeah, but did they in this world? Because basically, the twist is that
if they were in
they went off the grid, created their own world in the past, and eliminated the things that they felt would corrupt the society that they had created. Right?
Yeah, but they know what happened in the towns. They're fine with saying what happened in the towns and guns and stuff.
Oh, so I didn't think that I didn't even think that guns were a thing in their world.
They just weren't invented.
Yeah. Well, that's what I imagined, because I didn't think nobody mentions guns, because like you would think that like if the threat of the monsters existed, you'd be like, why don't we use those guns they were talking about? You know, so I didn't think gun was used until this moment, like the word even. Mm-hmm. But we could be wrong. Somebody correct us on that one.
Sure. Watch the movie, because I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, no. But that's the thing is, every single one of these elders suffered a tragic gun incident to somebody that they're close to, and we're like, you know what? I have this idea. Why don't we just like, I'm a huge... Okay.
So in the movie, it's John Hurt, and he's like, well, I'm a history teacher. And we're like, we know! God, sorry you picked a boring subject.
So, guys, I have this idea. Mm-hmm. You ready?
We're in a trauma group right now.
Well, hear me out.
We're all mourning the loss of our loved ones.
Guys.
They've all been murdered and shot. What do you want, John?
Okay, so...
We're crying.
John Hurt. Or, no, not John Hurt. Hurt. Yeah. See, my father died too. And it was of guns, right? You guys don't like guns, right?
No, this is the post-gun trauma support group.
Right, yeah.
That's our name. Why would we don't...
Yeah.
You have 1 minute.
Okay. So, guys, I'm thinking... this is also like a historian type group. You're all really huge fans of like colonial times and like pre-19th century. Well, I am, because I'm a historian. I'm a history teacher. Yeah. And I'm thinking, why don't we just go in the woods of Pennsylvania? I just bought this land and kind of just make our own society. How about that?
Like churn butter.
Yeah. Churn butter, like sweep brooms in a circle. We'll have like one blacksmith.
Can I bring my kids?
You bring them all. Bring all the kids. But there's going to be some rules. Okay?
Okay.
One, there's going to be your firstborn has to get married first.
Oh.
Yeah. Right? And no guns.
Okay.
Right? No money.
What do we do?
We'll figure that out. But one more rule.
Okay.
Ready? There's going to be monsters all around us. You in? Monsters? Monsters.
Why?
We'll worry about the reasons why later. You know, just there's going to be monsters.
Okay.
Okay. Cool?
I guess. God, just if it'll get you to stop talking.
I mean, guys, you got to be on board with this. Like, you all have suffered from gun trauma. This is the best solution.
He's got a point.
This is the solution. Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Jim's the ugly guy with the glasses.
That is the guy. Thank you, Jim. You've always been on my side. You're always a huge fan of colonialism, and I love that. I love that about you. I love that about you. Yeah. So, yeah, they'll kind of be like, you know, like the British, like the redcoats. Is that cool? Like, I love yellow. Like, clearly. Look at me.
Can we come back to the color choices later?
The what?
Just the color choices don't sit well with me.
Well, you know what?
Oh. Ow.
I just broke her neck.
She's not needed.
So that is how I imagine that went down.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what about, like, can we bring our cars?
I don't,
like, no.
I don't fully know how everyone got on board, because these are also, like, these are the people that established it. There's a photo of them standing there, and Sigourney Weaver has the baby with her.
Right.
And
this isn't like second generation.
No, they are the establishments.
These are the founders. The elders are the founders of this. So what it is that...
What it is
Bryce Dallas Howard climbs that hedge wall fence.
It's like 15 feet tall, and she just like flops over to the other side and is like, "Ugh, God, I got a leaf on me."
And
somehow survives that. A security car.
You see a paved road.
Yeah.
And a
park ranger vehicle.
Yes, right. And on that,
I'm just going to keep cutting you off and explaining everything before you get to it.
No, it's fine because
blah.
Yeah. On the vehicle, it says Walker Reservation. Okay, and then he's like, "Who are you? What's going on? You live inside the reservation? Like, what the hell?" Like, and he's
like asking her questions, but like you're sitting and like staring at the screen, and you're like, "Will you just talk to each other?" Like, that is my biggest annoyance with so many like movies and TV shows. It's like, if you talk, it will be fine.
I just wanted to step into the TV and be like, all right, she lives in there. You're a park ranger. You need to explain to her that her reality isn't her reality. And her name's Walker, which is the same name as the reservation. So her dad probably made the reservation.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Are we good here? Yeah. Okay, great.
So then
continue the movie, please.
Yeah. So she hands him a note and she's like, "Here, I need these things. Someone's dying, and here's a watch as payment." Which, if I was that park ranger, I would have been like, "Keep the fucking watch." Oh,
right.
Sorry.
Well, first we need to keep the watch. We're gonna like kind of release you guys. Like we're gonna set you guys free. That's what we're doing, right? So the park ranger's like, "Wait right here. I'll go and get you like first aid and stuff like that." Yeah. So he goes into like the park ranger station. And then there's another
M. Night Shyamalan cameo.
Is it him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you only see the backside of him, right?
He's got one in every movie. You see the front side and the reflection of the glass.
You do? Okay.
But the guy reading the newspaper has a bunch of articles like, this guy killed a bunch of people, this many people were slain, these 3 people died
I was
of this.
trying to see if because they kept focusing on the newspaper.
I was trying to see if it connected to a different movie of his.
Probably.
Really. I was
right?
like, oh,
well,
God.
it said child, 12-year-old child that's been missing for 3 days found, right?
Dead. I thought it was found dead.
Yeah, found dead, something, right? And I was like, does that mean anything?
It was basically like the entire newspaper was bad news. It was like the news, but it was like the sad page of like murder, death.
Because at first I was like, is that the child from the beginning of the movie and they just dumped their bodies outside the wall?
They're like putting him down a water slide and it's like, whoa! And it just shoots him out. Great. But one of them, the top...
Because at what point would you be like, we found another body right outside the reservation.
Something's going on in there.
Right? Meanwhile, what is the reservation to the outside world? What are they preserving?
I don't know.
Because this is, the ranger goes, what are you doing? You're just supposed to guard the perimeter. You're not supposed to ask questions,
He's
asshole.
like, you talk too much. Because he was like, oh, there were a group of teenagers near the wall. And he's like, careful because you talk too much. And if people like find out anything about this preservation, which like he also doesn't know much about the preservation. But he was like, if people start asking questions, it'll be bad.
How would you not know what you're doing?
I don't know.
And how would you not, like... You're not supposed to go in it? Like, how do you know that everything's copacetic
do they have, like,
inside?
a drive-on gate, or is it completely, like, fenced off?
Okay, so here's all the pins coming back into play, okay? Number one, like I said, it's revealed that her name is Walker, which means her father's name's Walker, which means that Walker is also the name of the reservation, so he owned it. He bought the property. He owns it, right?
It was her dad or her granddad was, like, a billionaire.
Sure. That doesn't matter as much. I'm not asking like how he got the money. I'm asking like, okay, if you own the reservation, right, and you've basically set forth the rules of being like, I have guards, like to keep us all safe and everything, but they're not supposed to ask questions or come on the property or anything. Wouldn't it be you, the person like?
I was like,
who knows it all about everything? That if you need supplies and stuff, just go to the fucking front gate.
Yeah. Like, doesn't he have, like, an escape path? But maybe he doesn't want that because it'll be too many leaks. But then they also have all their different stupid, like, surprise boxes and costumes.
This is where it gets so frustrating. The whole thing doesn't make any sense because, like, you still...
They're picking and choosing their, like, when
society has hit a certain point, I believe, like, you can't go backwards, like, to a certain point, right? Like, so... Clearly, the child in the beginning probably died because he wasn't immunized.
Yeah.
You know, like something like that. And I would believe, because these all seem like leftist gun-hating like liberals, that they also are probably in that hippie stage of not getting their child's immunized. So, like, that's probably accurate. But when it comes to medicine or, like, just infections, like... You would probably have either stockpiled it.
Yeah, you'd have to have some sort of backup.
You wouldn't just abandon all anemones, which is another thing. This movie, I forgot to mention it, is every scene that's lit by candlelight is like the brightest candlelight I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I just don't understand why the elders who know what's going on just don't get to the perimeter every time they need to. Just disappear for a second. I don't know. Have another Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, use the costume even and go to the front gate and be like, "Hello, tree people here."
Yeah.
Right. Oh God, the tree people are knocking at the gate again.
Well, so then this is also whenever it's established that there are government officials that pay off the something to make it a no-fly zone, so they don't even see airplanes.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh God, okay, we'll just divert all air traffic.
So much.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, relocate to Death Valley, where there's actual people off the grid, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's scary. I almost drove into one of those areas, and I was like, "Oop, better not."
Yeah, but those people also, like, because I saw a documentary about it. It's called Off the Grid.
Yeah.
Right. And these people legitimately do. Like, they know the outside world exists. They just don't want to be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they live off the grid, and they still
like
send
Amish.
people in. Thank you. This is, because it's in Pennsylvania, this is like the Amish, but at least the Amish have, I don't know what the term is, but it's literally like a week. What is it?
Rumspringa.
Where they allow you to just go forth and experience the world, and if you choose to come back, you do.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you leave after that, I think it's age 16.
This is like forced, like, Amish country, you know? Because they're even kind of dressed in that, right? So this is kind of just like a dig on Amish people.
I know.
You know? But in a world where they're scaring people into their society, into like their forced vision, it's so just convoluted, and it doesn't make any sense. And also, like, God, why did you make such a elaborate, stupid monster lie?
Yeah.
Like, you could have, I don't know, making a lie about religion would have been more believable, where it's like, God doesn't allow you to cross the perimeter, right?
Yeah.
You cross the perimeter,
well,
God will strike you dead. Right.
And they would have to have, like, an actual example of that.
Right. Well, they could have evidence just like the monsters.
And they could have a lightning bolt.
Because, like, I feel like even, like, what, they're all kind of shocked by, so this is everything we're bringing together now is, like, one, it's never revealed who was skinning the animals.
Yeah.
Never. Right? I think it's kind of shoehorned in, being like, oh, it was Adrian Brody, but I don't think it was. I think
thought it was
Adrian.
I thought it was Adrian Brody's parents, and they were like, because that's why they had the secret costume.
Yeah, because that mother seemed really obsessed with being like, you held it. Everybody else is kind of like, I'm conflicted here.
Yeah.
You know, she's the only one who being like, this. You held the truth.
Yeah. Well, that was like the whole thing that I was talking about. I was like, it's karma falling on karma, on karma. To where it was like, Joaquin Phoenix went into the woods, he got stabbed, but then the guy that stabbed him, Adrian Brody, got murdered because he fell into the hole and he stabbed him. But then the parents were the ones skinning the animals, so they lost Adrian Brody to death because they had done that bad because they didn't want Joaquin Phoenix to go into the woods. So it was just like some weird convoluted. That's at least my theory, but.
So, new meeting, guys. Because this is the end here.
Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah. So the ranger decides to not tell her what the real reality of situation is.
Gives her a ladder, sends her back.
Right.
She makes her way through the woods. There's nothing exciting happening then.
Joaquin Phoenix died before she got there.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
He died right before she got there with the medicine.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
What movie did you just watch?
Okay, what do you think happened?
He got the medicine and he's fine.
No. What are you talking about?
What movie did you watch?
He died. She didn't get there in time. And then he goes, we shall use his death as...
No, they're talking about Adrian Brody's death.
Really?
Yes. Because his parents start crying, and they're like, this is an example of why this can go on. They can use...
I thought they were using both as an example.
No.
Oh.
See, Adrian Brody died, and they said that she killed a monster, and they're saying that a monster got Adrian Brody, and
This
they're
is
like,
where it got confusing,
Yeah.
I guess, because because it's almost as if like Joaquin Phoenix just left the set one day and like he literally disappears halfway through the movie and doesn't show back up. They don't even
he's
show
dead
him
in bed.
Right.
Well, alive in bed.
Right.
Sorry, I was like, he's
but,
dying.
But that's
in
what I
bed.
mean. They don't even show an endearing moment.
They show his nipple right at the end because she holds his hand and she's like, "You're gonna be fine now."
Okay. See, I kind of checked out and I was trying to get
Yeah, I can
here. I was
tell.
late.
30 minutes late,
Yes. But
which is 20 minutes more than normal.
yeah, accurate. Calling
Calling you out right
yeah,
on
it's
air.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. People are like, I don't give a shit how late he is. I
do
still
the
get my episode on
Yeah.
time. Except for last week. Sorry, guys. It's like
It was just later in the day.
it's
okay.
4 hours late. It's fine. It was Halloween. What do you want?
Yeah. We were busy.
Yeah, we were super busy. So that's
no,
the
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, she comes back. They basically the console's all in the room with Joaquin Phoenix laying there, and everyone's like, "She's back, she's back. She killed one of the monsters." But then Adrian Brody's mom and dad are like crying about it because they're like, "Shoot, it was him that she killed, but she doesn't know it was him because she's blind,
Right.
and I'm sure he didn't say anything." And then they're like,
Like normal.
Yeah, they're like, well, this is signs that it can carry on, that like she made it, like he's gonna be okay,
So-
but we can also say a monster got Adrian Brody,
Right.
and
But,
we
so-
can use that to instill fear.
Bring back the other pin, the cord of blood.
Yeah.
Right? Is nobody like, but what about that cord of blood on his hands? Like, he bled and then a monster got him? They don't like blood. It's red.
What?
He had a quart of blood on his hands.
Adrian Brody?
No. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because he
Right?
stabbed a guy.
Right. So, is it just coincidental? Like, does the village just be like, it's a coincidence. He stabbed somebody, and then the monsters got him.
No, well, okay, so he stabbed someone, there was blood on his hands.
Right.
Right? His hands are red.
Right.
We'll say red attracts the monsters. Because of all that blood on him, the monsters were like, "Oh, that's our color," and they killed him.
You have to be the stupidest. Well, American history.
Yeah.
It's like, well, wait, never mind. I mean, they believe vampires and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there we go. Yep. Yep. This is just, wow. This was all about American history and the
This is all a
stupidity of
dream.
America.
Yeah. But then they use that thing. They're like, cool, we can further convince people to be afraid of the woods.
Right.
Because of his death. And it's like, all right, fear tactics. Look at where that got us.
Yeah, pretty far.
Yeah, 2017. Blessed be.
Yep. So, W's?
Oh, crap. I don't even have anything because it's just so
Mine's
dull.
never.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so
I had
blocky,
held on
it's
to
so
the-
dull.
Yeah.
Maybe if someone's like, no, not even if someone's like, I've never seen it. Just be like, you can
No,
skip
because
it.
I never saw it, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, why did?
Yeah.
You know, this was for you guys. You voted on this. That's why I had to see it.
You wanted it.
That's why, right? Which means that you all saw it because
Yeah.
you voted on it, and we're like, we want you to really dig on this. And I think we did it. You know, I'm gonna pat myself on the back a little bit because this one, I came into the studio today being like, shit, that was rough. I don't know how we're gonna get through it, but like,
Oh, I knew I had
Air
stuff.
5, because we always kind of like.
It's too far and I'm
So,
real lazy.
guys, on the reel, when like little behind the scenes of the show, one of us usually will come in and be like, "Do you have anything for this?"
Yeah.
And the other will
And
be
it's
like,
usually
"Yeah,
me."
I got you." Right? And so that's usually how it goes. Like, only once. I think, what was the movie we negated? We were like, no, screw that. So, it was The Mummy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the only one where we're like, you have anything? No. Do you?
Yeah.
No. That's a testament to the
Yeah.
newer the movie is,
I was like,
the more we hate it on a hate basis
Yeah.
instead of it being a good, bad movie.
Yeah.
So, that just about does it for us. Next week is Thanksgiving. So make sure you stay tuned for a very
Thanksgiving.
special episode for Thanksgiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be joined by a special guest for that one. And that will not be a part of the Netflix November theme, unfortunately, because that one's not found, but that is a Thanksgiving theme. So we wanted to really kind of theme it out. There's not many Thanksgiving movies out there to even attack. So I think we have we have 2 Thanksgivings in us, and that's it. Like if we go on for a 3rd year on this show, I'll be like, so we're just doing nothing this year. I'm like, I hope there's a really bad movie called Black Friday that comes out in the next 2 years. So make sure that you review us. Thank you for all the new reviews.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. We really appreciate that. If you're listening to this right now, this is the end of the episode, wrapping up. Like, if you've heard us a million times before, you don't have to listen. Just press pause or press stop and just go into if you're on iPhone, go into the reviews portion and hit that review. Just hit 5 stars and be like, new favorite podcast. Like, anything like that. Like, it doesn't have to be this long drawn out thing.
I listen to this in traffic.
Right?
Or, this is fun to do during my lunch break.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Anything really. But all those reviews help. It helps us get us to our next goals, which is to do those live shows for you and things of that matter. Other than that, I'm kind of looking for, if you're listening to this and you're interested, hit me up at contact@bombsawayshow.com. Kind of looking for a marketing intern. So putting that out there. Somebody who's like, I wouldn't mind posting for you guys on Instagram like once a day or something like that. Just somebody who's interested in marketing and wants to get their feet wet and get some experience and help us build and grow the show. I'd love to hear from you. So hit me up, contact@bombsawayshow.com. You can also just write to us at that email with thoughts, concerns about this episode or any episode we've ever done, and we'll shout you out on air, especially for birthday announcements, anything. Literally, you want to write us anything, we'll probably say it on the mic at this point.
We just want your attention.
Yeah. You can also reach out to us or follow us at Bombs Away Show, and that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
I got nothing else. You got anything to plug? Anything going on?
Nope.
No. For those of you who are listening, I'll be in Rocky Horror. Or maybe that's already happened. Actually, no.
Yeah,
that already happened. Yeah, sorry. But you can check me out in Rocky Horror in December. It's always the 2nd week in December. And you can find out more information if you follow Chaos, KOAS, on Facebook. You can find out more information, or www.thefreedacinema.org. You can find out when the next Rocky show is. But I'll tell you right now, it's always the 2nd week of the month on a Friday. So the 2nd Friday of the month at 11:30 here in Santa Ana at the Frida Cinema. And you can check me out there. Other than that, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jarrett.
And don't go into the woods. That's not how I want it. Yeah, I'm like, those who will not be named. Also, not the line, damn it. Those who we do not speak of. John here from the Bombs Away podcast, and I'm here to talk to you about what we always wind up talking to you about, the Frida Cinema. But there's a reason. It's not only our home, but it's an amazing venue. Now, I know what you're asking. What is the Frida Cinema? Well, it's a program of the Long Beach Cinematheque here in California, and it serves Santa Ana and neighboring communities as a non-profit art house cinema dedicated to enriching, connecting, and educating communities through the art of cinema. Now, how does it do that? Well, I'll tell you. It has amazing director series such as Martin Scorsese or Mel Brooks. Oh my God, when's the last time you saw a Mel Brooks movie on the big screen? Young Frankenstein, High Anxiety, Blazing Saddles? There's so much. Or what about Lloyd Kaufman, which has amazing films that we'll be doing on this podcast, such as Toxic Avenger or Class of Nukem High? Or how about Friday Night Freakouts presented by OC Weekly? That is something that we do here every Friday night. And we're talking about crazy sci-fi or horror or just off-the-wall things such as the 70s musical, The Apple, or how about Hackers or Lost Boys or Child's Play? These are the kind of movies that screen here. And what if those aren't your thing? What about anime? Well, we have the huge hit Your Name that just came out. Or what about the classic Akira? Yes, Akira was screened here with subtitles or without subtitles, your choice. What about, if anime's not your thing, how about double features such as Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead? And you can't really be an art house cinema without getting those kind of indie feature films such as Moonlight, which was Academy Award winner, Best Film. Right here, before it was even nominated. It was right here. Or what about The Void, which is on Netflix? Or just amazing cinema, and it's all right here. For more information about the Frida, showtimes, location, everything film and entertainment, go to thefridacinema.org. Or follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/thefridacinema. Or on Instagram and Twitter at the Frida Cinema. The Frida Cinema. It's for the filmmakers. It's for the film goers. It's for you.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb. What's your bright idea?